Hello, this is Mark Ramsey, President of Effective Project Solutions. This video will cover financial entry in Program Leader. Another video, the financial system, covers financial reports. I will walk you through entering data for about 5 minutes. I will intersperse financial entry rules that Program Leader enforces or suggests. Don't be concerned that you have to understand the rules at this point. After the 5 minutes, I will spend more time reviewing the rules. You enter financials in the Financial Entry panel, and I'll navigate it by clicking the Financial Entry button. The button turns green whenever there's a budgeted number in this field. Budgeting starts the first time a cost impact is anticipated. First, enter a budgeted number in this field. The next field is the quality of the number. The budget at the time of anticipating a future cost recognized is usually an estimate. That can be selected. If the cost may not happen, it is called a risk. Then you would select risk. Values in the reports will be the dollars budgeted times the risk percentage. Let's return this to firm. The next field is your cost code. Enter it or select it from the pull-down. The values in the pull-down comprise your previous entries. When you no longer have any budgets against a code, the code disappears. The risk percentage is selected from the values provided. The cell becomes available when risk was selected for quality. A value will stick only if risk is selected in the quality field. Watch while I illustrate. I try to choose a number when the quality is firm, and the number will disappear. The same thing happens if I had selected estimated here. If I change quality from risk to something else, the risk percentage disappears. Now to funding accounts. There are 3 types of change order funds from which you need to choose. One is paid from the book budget. These are costs needed to get in-scope work completed over and above what's been committed. The second is project contingency. This is to add scope over what the design intended. It usually involves changing the function of the design. The third is owner contingency. This is for use when the owner sets aside a fund that they can control for changes. You choose one of these, or you can hit the edit block and create a category of your own. All budgets involved approvals of some sort except those denoted as risk. At the very beginning, the budget could be pending approval. You use this when you recognize the need for change, but no authority if involved has decided upon it. This allows you to later look back and firm your budget numbers and seek approval. Affirmative approval is either yes, meaning it is documented somewhere, verbal, which is a yes but with the ambiguity we all understand, and directed, which means authority told you to do it. No means disapproval, meaning the work won't be done. If you try to enter into this field with risk selected, the field will clear itself. It makes no sense, of course, to approve a risk element. When the risk returns into a problem, then change the quality to firm up here and complete the rest of this panel entry fields. The field to the right of approval is when the date of approval is entered. It will clear itself if one of the 3 approved categories aren't selected. And those 3 approved categories are yes, verbal, and directed. Also, it will turn green when you've designated approval and the field is blank. The next field is simply who approved the budget. The following field is whether these figures should tally into Program Leader's cost reports. At some time you will write an activity which may be to administer a change order, but it is not the work itself. This could lead to entering the budget twice for the same change. So select no when the activity is to work on the change order. You can populate the rest of the panel, but it won't aggregate anywhere. The next column is the committed column. This is filled in when a purchasing or budget transfer instrument is done in your financial cost system. Selecting committed will copy the budgeted number to the committed number. It will alert you of selections in the budget column which are inconsistent as follows when you select yes and committed. Number 1, quality will change to firm. Any risk percentage will disappear. The approval field, if it were pending, will show a strikeout in color to prompt you changing it to one of the approved states. And I'll show an example. You've committed a purchase order, but you can't have the budget pending. It really needs to be approved. You need to say when it's approved, and you need to come down and say who approved it. Otherwise, there's a problem with the execution of this change order. The work finished field is when you are tracking the change order with Program Leader, but not the work itself. When the work is done, select Yes. The PO/CO number is your code for the change order. The dollars committed will copy the dollars budget when you select Committed. You can change this number to something else if the change order is a different number than the budgeted number. The variance between the two is tracked in reports. The Payee, if left blank, will show a color to prompt you to enter what division in your company or what subcontractor is to be paid for the work. The payees in the pull-down are the functional organizations and subcontractors entered in the supervisory entry panel. You can add a payee that's not in the list. Program Leader enforces financial entry rules by either preventing entry, coloring a field, or dimming a field. To know what the color means, hover the mouse above it for a tooltip to appear. Let's review the entry rules. Construction industry practice accepts a certain sequence of change order budgets, approvals, and purchase commitments. Change orders survive scrutiny when it's obvious that care was exercised in their development. Risk management is gaining importance in project management. Program Leader accepts risk budgets and percentages while keeping them distinct from change orders. Program Leader's enforced rules warn the user with colored fields when illogical entries are attempted. Tooltips coach the user. Firm or estimated selected for quality. The risk percent pull-down menu is disabled. Any prior risk percentage is erased. Here I have a prior risk percentage. I'll change it, and the risk gets erased. Approval dates can be entered in when approval is yes, verbal, or directed. The field will turn green as a reminder. There's the green. Green for verbal, green for directed. But approval equals no or pending. There is no color. The turning green is a reminder that you should date the time the approval was made. Committed equals yes. The PO/CO and Payee and the number of budget fields turn green. This reminds users to fill them in. So if these were all empty, the first approval will turn green, and the when will turn green, and the approved by will turn green. The dollars budgeted amount gets copied into the dollars committed amount. The user can modify the dollars committed number to what the change order actually became. Any difference shows as a variance on financial reports. Approval equals pending or no will cause the approval field to turn fuchsia and the value crossed out, if committed equals yes. There for no, and there for pending. This indicates a project management error. Approval needs to be yes, verbal, or directed before a commitment is made to pay. Queried and financial reports will show and aggregate with the dollars committed number, and if the activity is not committed, then the dollar budgeted number. When risk is selected for quality, committed is forced to stay at no. Recall a moment ago it was yes. It's forced to stay at no. This is because a risk does not convert into a change order per se. Change quality to firm or estimated to budgeted change order. When you have selected risk, the risk percentage pull down is active. Fields not relevant to a risk item are dimmed. All the approvals are dimmed. Everything under commitment is dimmed except the payee can be made active because the risk could be applied to a payee. Other. Show budget and report totals. Initial value is always yes when you add a new activity. Report fields in financial reports only show the same coloring behavior as this financial entry panel. I wish you the best of luck. Thank you. That is the end of this instruction.